John and the crew. And speaking of crew, we are happy that the crew is here with us. We are the OGs of the DMV, aka the DMV Sports 3, coming to you once again. And we are here. We're going to talk some Washington. Wait a minute. I don't know if I can say Washington football team as we're getting some rumor about what the new name is going to be. Maybe we're going to have to make that change. But then we're also going to talk about some heroes to us and why. It's going to be a very interesting show. You're here now, so you might as well. Let's get it.
In the summer, youngest on the corners be runners, out of towners be straight up corners. In DC, the K Corps, dirty Cadillacs, Desert Eagle cannon blast. Watch your back. Even the hood rats keep it real where the hood's at. Swinging wooden bats at your so-called cats. You know how we roll, y'all get up in the back. Roll call in the back, stole the Bama, watch his ass fall flat. In DC,
when you got chickens that make it harder to get them digits, the skins and them cowboy tickets.
In DC, the K Corps, dirty Cadillacs, Desert Eagle cannon blast. Watch your back.
All right. We are back once again. As I said, we're back. And I have to this side my man Big Al and the man who runs quarterback down here at the bottom, Big Deacon. And we are the DMV Sports 3, the OGs of the DMV. And let's talk about the Washington.
Red Tails, baby, Red Tails.
Here at DMV Sports 3, we talk Red Tails.
Red Tails all day. We started from the beginning.
Oh, Red Tails, baby. That's right. You see that the hints that's going on. It strongly favors Red Tails for February 2nd. It finally favors Red Tails.
There is a small ninja contingent. It's a very small group, probably about a good 1,500 strong, who really believe that we have a good chance that the Red Tails will make it. Actually, I was watching Natty's show, and he also thought that was an excellent idea. If we're going to do something military, we might as well go Red Tails. And his thing was it keeps the HTTR together.
All the names sound funky in my opinion. So why not go with a funky name that actually has the best meaning by far, and that is the Red Tails.
And that's what everybody was doing with the Red Wolves and the Red Hogs and the Red Hawks and all of that because they wanted that HTTR. So you might as well hold on to the last hope for that with the Red Tails.
Red Hogs are horrible. That's just a horrible
Well, hey, we don't know what it's going to be. We know
you see the 3 stars, baby. You saw the 3 stars. You saw all the little innuendos that's leaning towards those Tuskegee Airmen. Red Tails.
Well, Big Al, I have to tell you, got to push back a little bit because somebody's been doing deep dives too, and they also feel like that the name has already been revealed. And from what we gathered and heard, that the new name of the Washington football team would be the Washington Admirals, i.e., the Admiral himself from San Antonio Spurs. No, I'm serious. Every time I hear the word Admiral, I'm like, oh, seriously.
I saw somebody make a helmet with a circle saying Washington Admirals on it with his picture in the middle of it on the helmet. Yeah, come on, man. Don't do us like that.
Yo, but that's the kind of clowning that we're going to get if that is true.
Yeah.
They really.
Now, I've heard Commanders. I've heard what was the other one I heard? Commanders. It was another one that they was talking about. Start with an 8. It wasn't good.
That I've heard, which was Red Tails still, Commanders and Admirals now. That's pretty much what it is.
Fellas, I talked to y'all about this already. I told you they're gonna keep the name Washington football team. We're now
hey, if it's gonna be the Admirals, I will stick with the Washington football team. I will be all in. I do not want the Admirals at all. I think I'd rather have Commanders. I could
take
not want to be
Commanders. But you know it's gonna be shortened to Commando. You know, we're gonna have all kind of D pitchers out there for the Washington football team.
There's also another group of people who really feel like it's going to be the Washington Monuments. Speaking
That's
of,
horrible.
yeah, I know.
The remaining leagues aren't good, man.
We might as well run face first into a brick wall, man. If that's the case, because we're just going to get clowned out the league.
Apparently, though, the Red Wolves, anything with Wolf in it, the Timberwolves want to get paid. Like, they got the copyright for pro teams, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So anything that says Wolf, they want to get paid. So Snyder, Big Dan was not agreeing about paying them. So that was cut. You know what I'm saying? That was cut. Same thing with Warriors. Apparently, Golden State got the patent on that. You have to pay the Golden State Warriors some bones if you want that name. That's just what it was. So you couldn't do Warriors. So, but
Big business is a monster, ain't it? Big business is a monster.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Yeah, you know, they might say, Big Al, you can't use your name no more. We're going to make Big Al sandwiches.
Yeah.
And if ever you want to use your name, you got to pay us. You know, I mean, they can do that. Literally, they got the legal team and the money and the time to lock you into a battle until you just give up and they just take a name.
Well, whatever
I think it was
want to be, man. I just tell everybody, you know, we got used to the Wizards, so we can get used to them.
Right on.
Time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
If we can go from the Bullets to the Wizards.
The Wizards. But you know, the Wizards over years changed the logo. You know, they color scheme. So they improved over they kind of refined it, you know, over the years. It's a lot better. You know, it's still the Wizards, but it's a lot better though, man.
But see, that was my thing about the change coming up is that's why I said they're gonna keep the name. It's just gonna be a new logo, the new mascot, whatever. Because that's gonna be the announcement. It's gonna be the logo. It's gonna be the new marketing part of the Washington football team. But you know, like I said, Admirals suck, Monuments suck.
Admirals are terrible.
Commander is the only one that I can kind of see as
and that stinks. And it stinks,
yeah,
but
that's the best of the worst.
It's like when you at the stadium and you get your fries and you get bumped and and all your fries fall except for the ones on your arm. So you go ahead and you say, okay, well, I'll eat these on my nasty, dirty jacket because that's what you got to deal with. Because that's how bad the names are. And you're pretty much the Commanders are the nasty, dirty jacket fries. But anyway, speaking of new and improved things, our offensive line is getting some improvement as far as stability, meaning that we went on and locked down somebody who has been locking it down, i.e. Charles Leno, has signed his contract. How y'all feel about that, gentlemen?
That's a good move. We need some vets on the team. He's played fairly decent.
I'm so excited.
I mean, I think you're right, Tracy. We need some stability. And Charles Leno has definitely he hasn't been hurt. He's one of the few offensive linemen that hasn't been hurt. He seems to be, you know, consistently, you know, doing his job. He's has a couple little hiccups, but, you know, he's playing against professionals. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, and he's consistent. He's been, you know, he was all pro for Chicago for, you know, a couple of years. And this year he's been one of our top linemen, you know. So I think it's a good thing. I think we signed the center. The center's been signed last year, but he got hurt this year.
Rouillet's locked down.
And then we have a rookie right tackle who's improving, you know.
That's right.
So he's improving. He had an injury-prone season this year, but he played well when he did play, except for the Cowboy game. Nobody played well against Cowboy.
We laid down.
Yeah, we laid down against that one. But so we getting some stability. I would like to see us sign a right guard, and of course. And I like Brown at a left guard. I like him at left guard. I like him. Big Brown. He mauls people when he plays, man. He's not that great of a pass blocking guard, but he's a great run blocking guard. You know what I'm saying? And he mauls people when he plays.
I'd rather have a good run blocking guard than a pass blocker. You can learn to pass block.
Right,
you get help with pass blocking, but you can maul somebody on the line as a run blocker. Then that's you doing something there.
So all we gotta do really is just replace our left guard, which is Sheriff. And he's gone. He frees up some cap space. This year, Tracy Deacon, we have $60 million under the cap this year. We have money to spend. We gotta get the jet going. Big Dan gotta get that jet warmed up. We got big money to spend this year to fill in some of those holes with some veteran players. Hopefully young veterans that can fill in some of these holes that we have. So we got to do our due diligence right after the Giants game to find out who we're going to go after with our $60 million. Because if you notice, New England did that last year. I noticed that the coach in New England did that last year, and look at them now. They're a different team. Look at New England now. They are battling, with a rookie quarterback, but they got a lot of talent with them, though.
Yeah, that's the main thing. When we talk about, let's go to the line first. I think Leno is a good sign. It's not a lot of money, it's a good money for him, but it's not like he's breaking the bank.
Right.
And remember, we still got to make a decision on our rookie from last year who got hurt. Was it Sadiq Charles? Yeah. So we still got him that can fill a spot. We can put him on right guard out, or we can put Flowers is still there.
Flowers is our left guard now. And
but you like the other guy left guard?
I do. Of course, I like Sheriff. But we don't want to pay with Sheriff once. We're not going to pay Sheriff.
He's not in the cards.
Yeah, he's not in the card. So Sadiq might have to battle for that position with the guy that got hurt. I like the guy that got hurt. I can't think of his name.
You mean Schweitzer?
I like Schweitzer.
What I'm saying is the good thing is we got some bodies to fill positions, and I think they're pretty good bodies. Like I said, when people went down, we didn't lose a lot of protection when we had other guys coming in. So I think we're going to be all. And you get somebody in the third round as an offensive lineman or defensive, because we're going to have to start trading people to get people. And as far as New England, they went out and got a lot of free agents, but their main thing was they got a consistent quarterback, and that makes the big difference. And that is going to be our main thing. Don't spend no money. Don't spend no draft picks until you get yourself a quarterback, because we need all of that. I don't care if you just eliminate whatever this year to get a good quarterback. You can take everything, take all of it. Until we get a good quarterback, we're not going to go anywhere. Or a consistent quarterback at least. Somebody who can seal the line and throw down the field. Let's start there. Let's start building the team around a quarterback instead of trying to build a whole team around an average quarterback or just somebody. That's all I'm saying. I think that's
now. Is Scary Terry up for contract this year?
I think it's next year, big guy.
Okay, so I heard an interview with Santana Moss on the way home today from work, and he's a mentor for Scary Terry. Scary Terry, he works for Scary Terry off season and stuff like that. And Scary Terry is not happy. He loves this area. He loves being a football team or Washington player. But he knows that he's being hurt tremendously by not having a decent quarterback. He
almost has 1,000 yards this year, and we had no quarterback. No quarterback getting the ball.
So it's going to be very difficult to sign Scary Terry back without signing some kind of decent quarterback. And right now, Scary Terry is our best offensive player that we have on our team right now. My personal opinion. He's our best offensive player. He may be the best player on the team. It's between him and maybe Allen, or there's some guys out there that can play. And I think when our defensive linemen come back from injury, those guys can really, really play ball when they're healthy and really focus on playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't tell me Chase Young can't play. He wasn't there the first of the season. You can't tell me Sweat can't play. You know what I'm saying? Sweat can play. So, but Scary Terry is our most consistent playmaker on our team. I would love to be able to take some of that 60 and break them a piece and keep them. But according to Santana Moss, that's going to be a difficult chore to do without improving our quarterback position.
Yeah, and it may be hard either anyway, because he might wait. He might wait to the end of his contract and be like, you can get a quarterback, but mesh together? You know, is he good enough to take me down the next leg? I'm
Right,
trying to get
right.
another contract after this one. You know, so
Right.
it's gonna be difficult if we don't get that situated this year. You might as well start looking for another receiver as well.
And you guys went from the offensive line to the whole entire team. The future. Let's
It's
talk
hard not to. It's hard not to.
the future of this next game. Shouldn't take too long. New York trash team got a trash coach talking trash. Says that, hey, that team over there that got the people fighting on the sideline, man, we're gonna beat them. They ain't gonna beat us. We horrible, but they're worse. What do you feel about that? What do you think we're gonna do, Big Al?
I mean, okay, the last couple of weeks with COVID and all the different stuff that was going on our team, with the injuries and people, family members getting hurt, and all the stuff that happened the last couple of weeks. I mean, we took a step down to the Giants' level, in my personal opinion. We're not that much better than the Giants, and then Ron said that the first quarter is going to be starters, and after the first quarter, he wants to take a look at people that that need to play so he can get adjustment for next year. It's almost like a preseason game almost. He's going to put Allen out there. It's going to put some people out there that he wants to take a good look at. Now, most athletes want to compete. You know what I'm saying? They want to compete. So saying that and knowing the Giants, it's going to be a trash game. And he's a trash coach, the Giants coach. You know what I'm saying? So, do I care what he say? No. Only thing I do care about is certain people looking good in the game. Brown looking good in the game. The tight ends looking good. The two young tight ends looking good in the game. The linebacker, what's his name? My man,
Jamin Davis.
Jamin, he looking better, looking good in the game. Looking for Reeves looking good in the game. This young folks, playing good ball. You know what I'm saying? And people that's really competing to. I want to bring AGG off the cut list and have him on some patterns and see what we got with him. That's my man right there.
God damn, that boy can sing.
You must be crazy.
He good.
You must be crazy.
Been your man for quite some time. Quite some.
Even though he's been cut, but so that's what I want to see is young folks out there playing hardball, and competing. And I want to see my man Scott Turner come up with some creative, fun plays. He's been basic Betty all year. I want to see him come up with some creative, fun plays to make the game interesting and see what he got. Allen is his quarterback. You know what I'm saying? That's his man. So he knows the offense, so he can come up with some off the wall stuff plays. And Allen has a stronger arm than Heineke does. So you know what I'm saying? I want to see something like that. What about you, Deacon? What do you want to see in this Giant Washington game?
When you said that players want to play and they want to win, this is true. But I think players are also cognizant of where they position themselves right now. We're not going to the playoffs. We're playing this last game, which is the 17th game, not the 16th game. We're playing the 17th game this weekend. I think that they will appreciate not playing that much because nobody wants to get hurt, and who wants to get hurt in the last game of the season, especially when it's not going anywhere. So I think that playing these young guys is kind of what you have to do. He should know already what he has. He's had a whole season with these guys. He's seen them in practice. And even though it's not a regular season game, whether they can play or whether they can't play. I know some people are gamers, but you got to have some kind of indication of whether that guy is one of those people. So, yeah, we want to see Cleet Hudson in there. We want to see all the young guys who are taking up roster spots, spending our money, sitting on the bench, playing the practice squad. Get them in the game. Now, I hope that as sorry as the Giants are, that we just blow these guys out. That's what I want. I want to blow. Whenever somebody's talking about you, your team, especially when you have to play them, that's why he bagging it up, Trey. That's why he's pulling back a little bit. He still got to play us. You can say that tomorrow. I mean, after the game, but before the game, it should be some kind of team pride that says, "Not this week." Yeah, we look like trash. Yeah, we probably equal in talent, but not today. Not today. I'm punching somebody in the mouth, and keep going all full quarters. That's kind of our problem all year, is that we haven't strung together full quarters in a while. Even the games that we've won, it's looked up and down for the most part, and we've won out of luck sometimes, and we won out of skill, but sometimes it's just up and down all game. So. Yeah, put Allen in there, put a couple guys in there who hadn't played this year, who, like you say, spending money, and let's see what they got. And it's probably not going to make a big difference as far as whether you make the team next year or not, but it will keep some of our veterans or our, people who have been in our team for a while safe and keep them from getting injuries that are going to take a while to get. Yeah, I was going to bring up our receiver, but whatever. He's out.
I'm not playing, man.
Yeah, no, I know. But
it took you 17 games to get there, fellas. 17 games for y'all to get to this point. Huh? I told you. Listen,
that's one thing. The game doesn't matter. It's the people that's playing that matters at this point. So get the young boys in there.
If we win the game, does it change our draft position? Or if we lose the games?
It's not going to be about that, man. It's about what you guys said in the beginning. We have to be aggressive, and I do hear through the grapevine that our coaches are saying that they understand that the quarterback position is what they need, and so they're going to be aggressive. Now, these are words from individuals that have said things before that have not come to fruition. So I'm not necessarily getting all excited about that. We watched it last year. We sat there scratching our heads all the way through preseason. I don't know. But what I do know is this. They better do something, because we are in a situation where it can be an awesome thing where we are rebranding the team. We're getting a new quarterback, is what they're saying. We're doing a lot of things different that needs to happen, because this fan base is all but gone. Us being OGs, man, we've been here through all the Super Bowls, man. Sometimes we just got to say it out loud, because a lot of people only know this team for its dismal, beat down mentality that it has been for the last 20 years. They don't know that we were great. And if there's anything to save this franchise, there was a graph that came out talking about your boy, Big Dan Deacon.
Big Dan.
And man, when it started from when he got the team to where it is now, man, the graph does a tragic fall down to 2021. It is so direct. It's like a isosceles triangle, man. It's just horrible. Your boy has participated in destroying this franchise. Now, I know you don't like that. I know you're going to talk about me today on the helicopter when you guys leave out. But that's not the point. The point is this. There's no more time for the proverbial rebuilding. We got this here and this, that. We got to do it now. Everything got to go in right now. And like you said it very confidently. Until we fix the quarterback position, Russell Wilson, they're saying is not going to be to Seattle. We know that there's a guy by the name of Matty Ice who might be able to give us. I'm just throwing names out there, but I'm just saying, we know Deshaun Watson probably won't be in Houston. We know they're talking about your boy, and I don't want him here. I don't want to hear. He's a great on the commercials, though, and probably will build this brand. But Baker Mayfield, these individuals will be available. And let's not forget, with the $60 million that Al's talking about, let's not forget that Aaron Rodgers is still playing the game of, I am better than your boy Brady, and I am going to possibly be available. So Nobody wants to come here. I'll say that twice. Nobody wants to come here. It's just it's that proverbial dumpster fire, man, on so many levels. But this is where you put in the meme of all the money flying in the air right down here in the bottom, Deacon. I'm just saying that somebody like a Watson, somebody like a Wilson might think about that, because it's like, hey, I did my time. Well, without Watson, but I think, did Wilson get a ring? Oh, he almost got a ring. But
No, Wilson got a ring.
He got a ring. Yeah. So you're talking about these guys like Rodgers and stuff who've already accomplished that goal. Hey, I could take this money and go off into the sunset. I don't see them doing a McNabb. I see them coming in here and really, because they don't want to leave like that. McNabb, his whole reputation is trash. He can't even keep a media job. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just trash. Nobody wants to talk about him. He doesn't mean anything because he allowed that to happen. I don't think those guys would do that. But anyway, we have to be that aggressive and not look at it and say, well, we're not going to do that. We have too much money for us not to go for a big name. And if that big name looks us in the face and says, you are from Washington, D.C., right? That team you want me to go to? That right there should let you know. Now, I still think we should draft somebody. I still think.
You got you.
Yeah, so even on top of getting that proverbial whatever, you still draft the quarterback, because that's how bad it's been in that position, and that's how I feel. So with that being said, fellas, this game, I'm with you, Deacon and Al. I want to see our young players play, and I want the young players to go out there and give it their all, but that's going to take coaching. That's something that we're not mentioning. Can't go out there and say, hey, guys, we're just going to end this season off, whatever like that. Thank you for playing this 17th game for nothing. No, he got to get in there and say, hey, everybody's on the blocks. Some of these, if it was me, I would just go down there and start putting tape over people's locker names. Like, hey, except for the ones that are in contract, some of these, I'm just going to cover them names up like, hey, man, somebody else is coming in here, depending on how you play. That's what you got to do, man. And then somebody should be up there in that booth, not doing this, but in there writing down the aggressiveness, the tenacity, the skill set, the route running. Everybody should be in there critiquing for people who are going to be here, man, because there's somebody right now up the street in Baltimore that will come in here and be a proverbial star on our team. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. I agree with all of y'all. And while you guys are here, I know you have to agree with me because I'm always right. And what's right is you hitting the subscribe button and the like button right now. It helps us. Thank you for being here. As we move on to the next topic. Oh, last thing I want to say, I did hear that they're trying to lock down J.D. McKissick, and they're also trying to lock down, which I'm a little shaky on, number 20, your boy, the safety.
No, the cornerback. Come on, Williams?
No.
Huh?
The safety. The new guy we got. The guy out there.
Bobby McCain. Bobby McCain.
His name doesn't even stick in my head because I look at him as just a guy.
Well, he got better. He got better.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
He's a glue guy.
And he's a guy. He's a guy that I see him Apke-ious. He's Apke out there.
No, he's not Apke. No, come on.
He's the Apke out there now. He's the Apke out there now. He's not Apke, but he's the weak link out there, man. Fuller actually played better than he did. And Fuller, Fuller notorious to get toast. But Fuller played better than this guy last couple of games. He had some bad games,
but I think he played all right this year.
You can't use the same word, same name as Apke with his name. He's a step and not
okay,
so bad.
Okay. This is where you put your Pepsi in there. Let's talk a little bit here. So lastly, we talked about the name. We talked about the game. We know what's going to happen. We talked about the players in the future. We all got that clear. So lastly, then, when it comes to the Washington football team, what would be your and everybody gets to pick one. Because we could run down the list of rookie of the year for offense and defense, MVP for offense defense. Most valuable player, offense and defense, in your mind for this year. Go.
Well, defense would be Allen. Allen showed up after his contract, man. You got to give it to him. He played hard, and he has 9 sacks or something like that.
9 or 10 sacks, yeah.
I didn't. He played the best as far as the consistency. He's always there, getting the push on the line.
Yeah.
Offense, I would say Antonio Gibson. Man has played hurt. He's ran the ball hard. He's had several 100-yard rushing games. People have been doubting him this year because it wasn't as many flashy plays as last year. But he has a turf toe injury all year that he's been playing through. I think on toughness alone, this guy's been our most valuable player because it's not like we have a lot behind him, especially when JD went out. So he had to take the bulk of the run and the pass. So that's why I would go AG and Allen.
Well, I agree with you with Allen. I definitely think the defensively, Allen is the defensive player of the year this year. Like you said, consistency in all phases, run and pass defense. He's in all phases. I'd like to give a special honorable mention to Cam Curl, at safety. I think that
took mine.
Honorable mention, definitely. And then I'm going to go back to Scary Terry. He's a dependent player, though. He depends on the quarterback. Wide receiver position depends on the quarterback. And the quarterback is, somewhat, but saying all of that, after all that, this quarterback play has been up and down for the last 3 years he played for us, and especially even this year has been up and down. He still is an 800-yard, 70-catch guy with about 6 or 7 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely our best player on offense. Most dangerous. He consistently has double teams. When the defensive coordinator on Monday morning starts scheming up the defense against the Washington football team, Scary Terry is the first person that he starts working on. How I'm going to stop this guy. You know what I'm saying? I think AG is second or third possibly, but Scary Terry is that first person. So I'm gonna say Scary Terry is my offensive player of the year.
All right, gentlemen, that's awesome. I'm gonna go with, man, I think you can't beat, but I'm gonna stick with Cam Curl. I thought Cam Curl was my MVP, and the reason why I figured that out was when he was hurt and how impactful he was, how he was missed. This guy, when he first came out, everybody thought was a fluke, and everybody was kind of hesitant to give him the go to be the guy. He's the guy. We have a safety in Washington, y'all. His name's Cam Curl. And then offensively, Deacon, you were awesome with AG, man. But I'm gonna go with Big Al's Scary Terry. He's just incredibly had to put so much on his shoulders as a wide receiver. I think as a running back, you have more control. But as a wide receiver with the quarterbacks that we have and everything that he has to do in the triple-double teams, he's still been able to do that. So I will go with that. And I think that you guys are right. We got to lock him down, man. And Deacon, if it gets to a point where we pull some of that money early before we get our quarterback, we might need to. Because when that other quarterback is in negotiations, talking about to us, trying to get our money, and look at those receivers we have. And if Terry is not even signed, that lessens the chance. We got to sweeten that pot for him to say, you see this guy right here? He is the next. And if his boy Samuels can stay somewhat healthy, and if this guy Brown has a real quarterback, there you go. There's a little different versus just like, you want me to go where and throw to who? And we got a big tight end, amazing, named Logan Thomas, who really probably got hurt because of Heineke, to be honest with you. But so there's some things that could maybe get a already ringed up Russell Wilson to pop in here and get behind that. So, with that being said, gentlemen, we're going to end off there, but we're not gone yet, folks, because the OGs, we got something to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, when we were growing up, before there were the Avengers movies, the Spider-Mans, the Black Panthers, if I may, something that we had to do as young African-American men, we had to identify individuals that represented us in the media. And I know a lot of young folk watch our show and probably don't even realize and or can connect to the fact that all of our heroes, I remember growing up, I had my little Evil Knievel stunt bike. I had, my Spider-Mans too, and Superman, all of those things. But there was very few individuals that represented or looked like us. And when we finally saw them, they were always usually background figures. And so we had to attach ourselves to anything and anybody. And this one gentleman right here, his name is Sidney Poitier. He was one of the first Black superheroes to all of us. As we saw this man lead films, which was rare during the time that he started. He's going to rest in power now next to John Thompson and all the other individuals who, like him, were amazing contributors to, outside of our own fathers, somebody that we can look up to. Sidney Poitier died at the age of 94 today. And we want to just give a little bit of the time or a little talk about it. We think he deserves it. I'll start by saying I just remember this guy who just represented somebody different from the status quo, as far as he seemed to fit in where most other actors, those that do not look like him, fit in. And it didn't matter what kind of genre that he played. One of my favorite, of course, was him and sidekick next to Bill Cosby in Uptown Saturday Night and Let's Do It Again. Those were like epic movies. They were funny, they were interesting, and they represented what I thought that, let's say, my dad might have done when he got with these guys' fathers and they went to go hang out. What were they doing? This is what they were doing. But you have to really take the time to look at what Mr. Poitier has done. And he was doing it for a very long time. Honestly, he had a couple of movies that you'll see in here on his filmography that were very modern, and he played his role. And I'm talking about, he had a couple of action movies, at the age of 60. So, this guy was amazing. Gentlemen, what do you want to say about Mr. Poitier?
Well, he definitely was an icon. He definitely was, I want to say, the first Black man to win the Academy Award.
He was.
This gentleman was actually from Caribbean descent in Miami, Florida. And he had a real hard accent, and he was the first one. When he first came to acting, he had to adjust his speech to fit into our community. They called me Mr. Tibbs when he smacked that young man in the face. Back in the 50s and early 60s, you didn't see people of African descent like that. Be that righteous, that powerful. That intellect that he projected, you know what I'm saying? I think all the leading actors had to take something from Sidney Poitier.
That's right.
He played everything from Shakespeare to comedies. So he was just a well-rounded actor, man. That we all idolized and all had respect, and he demanded respect when he walked in the room or he was on camera. You had to honor this man with respect. So you definitely have to, say that this gentleman was just an icon in the community, especially in the African American community, or icon in this country.
That's right.
Yeah, he had respect with every actor almost. Nobody ever spoke ill of Sidney Poitier, especially if you're African American. These guys all looked up to him. It's about paying homage to the people who come before you. And I mean, we saw Chadwick Boseman before he died, saying that there will be no Black Panther without what's your boy name? What's his name? Dude who played in I forget his name now. The brother, the one that everybody likes. Anyway, no Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
But there was no Denzel Washington if there was no Sidney Poitier.
That's right.
So there's a line of succession that goes on with us, and especially breaking that mold with being the first one to win an Oscar, when in a time that Black people weren't considered as main characters in box office hits and stuff like that. This guy broke all the molds. A quick story. My father-in-law is from the Bahamas, which is where Sidney Poitier is from. And of course, if you're from the Bahamas, he loves you, And I had to hear this for a while. But my daughter is named Sydney, after Sidney Poitier. So, I mean, this guy was a leader in his time, and you can't deny that. Oh. So it's sad to see him go. Obviously, he lived a long, good life.
That's right.
And good on him, man, because he really laid a foundation for people who want to act, whether you're Black or white. You can study this guy because, like Al said, he did Shakespeare, he did comedies, he did
dramas, action movies,
every genre there was.
Romance.
I don't remember him doing a sci-fi film, but he probably could have.
What was that?
I said I don't remember him doing a sci-fi film, but he probably could have.
He probably has. Yeah. Hey, listen, you gotta remember Sidney Poitier, man. When they get to a certain age, they just do a little cameo. You get a nice little check. And so some sci-fi movie, he probably has the credit. I bet you money. I'm
looking.
Yeah, you'll find something in there. So while Deacon is looking at that, we also have another gentleman of ours who, at the same time, another actor, but from a different lens. As we got older and as we moved on in our lives, usually around college, we've done some things and hung out and had opportunities to watch those movies that our parents might not have wanted us to watch. They wanted to stop
They watched it.
any Sidney Poitier movie.
And
But
they saw when
this
it came to
particular
movies.
guy, they might have had some pause. They didn't let us watch this movie. But when we discovered it, it was amazing. I.e. Max Julian is another individual. And I'm smiling because I think Max Julian will want us to smile. This guy right here, he only had very limited movie acting credits. But when he did this movie, he broke the mold. He's also a product of the DMV. So I want you guys to understand that. Product of the DMV, he did the movie called The Mac. If you haven't watched it, parental discretion is advised. So, excuse me, but there was a time, and I need to explain this, that, and it goes very deep, but we won't take long on it. Black exploitation has its own history. To some, it is looked at as an empowering thing. To others, it could be looked at as just fostering stereotypes. All depends on who put the money behind said movies. But what it did for a lot of us young guys was to say, hey, you know what? We can do things differently, that, or be who we are, celebrate even sometimes our lowest characters in our diaspora. And also, that's where you really get to, or a lot of those black exploitation movies, which is what we like to call ourselves, aka Three the Hard Way, individuals who became those superheroes of ours. Our superheroes didn't wear capes. Our superheroes wore stacks, and afros. And they, were battling against, this is nothing new, police suppression, political, systematic oppression. You see what I'm saying? So we always had that, and these guys in their movies would battle that in the way that they could. And so Max Julian was a fine actor in his own right. If you ever get a chance to watch the movie, it's a classic, as they say, a cult classic. And you guys want to say anything about Mr. Julian?
Just that the movies were just fun. For that age range, where we are, Max Julian's movies were fun. Not looking at some things are just not deep, really. Some things are just fun. You know what I'm saying? It may have some points to it, but for the most part, it was just fun. The 70s was a fun era. You know what I'm saying? There's some things about the 70s that we may not like, but it was a lot of fun in the 70s. And he represented the 70s. He represented that genre, that feel. You know what I'm saying? And there was, it was some, good times happening in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? And he represented that. And the brother was from DC. That's another one thing. He was a brother that made it. He was from DC. You know what I'm saying? And he was a superhero among his peers, which are young black men. And just the way he carried himself. Not maybe his actions or what he was actually about, but how he carried himself in the streets, or we like to call the streets or the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Streets.
You know what I'm saying?
Super cool.
Super cool. He was just that character.
From streets, man.
Streets, baby. So I just want to say rest in power. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I enjoyed his movies, and they were fun, and they make me think of, like Tracy was talking about, our college lives and our early youth, and just sitting back and enjoying that time, and enjoying seeing something a little different than what our parents may introduce us to during our youth.
It's all his fault.
These guys actually came around the same time. Sidney Poitier started out when you had black exploitation films. So, and even though people might look down on black exploitation films, they were an avenue for people to make movies. We're talking black directors in all kinds of positions. So this was a necessary time, and we had people who came up in that era that were making the money, and having a life to live. So that's Max Julian, Sidney Poitier, man. I say, man, like you say, rest in power to both of them. The Mac, I've seen pretty much every black exploitation film there is. That's my thing. But the Mac was his most famous, and you can quote the Mac in several different ways. That people do.
That's 35,000.
Huh?
It's a 35,000.
35,000 is 7.
35,000 plus one. I get
86, right? Yeah. So I mean, yeah. That if you're not into black exploitation films, that's one thing. But if you are, man, go back and rewatch these movies, because like Big Al said, it's a lot of fun. Don't take it too seriously. Everything is all right. We're all right. So,
and you'll find and discover a lot of your first scenes of a lot of those individuals are your stars today, like Samuel Jackson, like your girl Pam Grier. She's still doing her thing. And you'll find a couple of directors that have taken that whole genre and made it their own, i.e. Tarantino, i.e. The last movie, the cowboy movie that we had with the thing. So, gentlemen, rest in power to Max Julian, Sidney Poitier. Thank you all once again for watching the DMV Sports 3, the OGs of the DMV, and giving us your time. We are out of here.